Oh, starting. Hello, hello. Can anyone hear me now? Zach, you're the only one here, so I'm going to ask if you can hear me or not. Or maybe I'm not close enough to the computer, so I don't have to yell. Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. Hello, you hit is not my style. You can? Good. And I'm clear, I'm crystal clear. I'm leaning in a little closer to the computer because everyone always says that when I do a live stream, I don't sound like my regular voice, but when I try to hook up the microphone to my computer, then you just get feedback and it breaks up. So I just talk to my computer. So usually that means I have to talk a little bit louder, but if I lean in, you can hear my regular voice a little bit. I'm still kind of talking louder than I would into the microphone. Hey, Black Metal. Hey, girl, hey. Hey, Mother Creepypasta. I tagged you on something on Instagram because one of my favorites was giving a giveaway away. So I'm like, it said he had to tag 2 people in it, so I tagged you in it. Good morning, Antonio. Autumn. Good morning. Good morning. I'm glad this was working correctly. Now, what I was going to do was start recording a bunch of stuff today for the rest of the week until Friday when I have something. I have a serial killer Saturday lined up this week that happened in my town, and that's for this Saturday. But I was going to try and pre-record for the rest of the week so I could work on my next audiobook and just concentrate on that. But when I was looking for stories, I came upon this one. It's a whole article about funeral homes and crematoriums where people were just disgusting, and I thought it would be an entertaining read. Cameron Reynosa, hello. Oh, my bad about the typos on. Yeah, I don't, when I'm personally talking to people or they're talking to me, I don't worry about typos because it's not like a term paper you're turning in. I don't correct people, and I don't expect to be corrected about typos when you're in just a regular conversation. Everyone that knows me knows that I typo very consistently. Oh, yeah, she's pretty good, isn't she, Antonio? Good morning. Oh, is it morning where you're at, Antonio? It is just early afternoon here. And I'm happy that you're happy that he's happy. Very consistently, yes. Okay, so while I was looking for stories this morning, because I have some stuff planned out, I was trying to save more for the Halloween special that I have lined up. I have quite a few people that are supposed to turn in audio by this Friday, so I'm hoping that they do, because I don't like pestering people. Number one, I don't like pestering people to be involved in a special if they don't want to be in it. Number two, I don't like then going back to those people that I wasn't sure if they wanted to be in it anyway about audio to turn back in. So I figure whoever turns in audio for the Halloween special wants to be involved. Whoever doesn't. And I'm not going to harass them about that, because I personally have forgotten like 2 or 3 pieces of audio, I think, that I owe other people. And if they don't come back and remind me, I totally forget. So, you know what I mean? It's 9:30 a.m. there, 11:30 there. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm most of the time, at least in my live streams and people that I interact with a lot, I'm never on the same time zone, ever. 9:30. God, 9:30. You have like 3 extra hours of your life that I do not have right now. My throat's really sore too, so I wasn't sure if I was going to record this morning because my husband and I were outside doing yard work all weekend, and now my throat is all like, it's fall, and it was really warm here, unseasonably again. And every time it's like that in the fall, when it goes back and forth, cold, warm, hot, like it was like nearly 80 degrees on Saturday in October in Michigan. Like, that's not normal. I remember as a kid, a lot of times it would snow at this time of year. So yeah, global warming is a myth. Anyway, It's noon here. Okay, so you're in the same time zone as me, Zach. Okay, so I was going to read. These stories are so messed up that I'm like, I have to share this with you guys because it's so freaking wrong. Let me see. I'm trying to enter. Okay, this is the right one. I had two windows open for YouTube that I couldn't really figure out which one was the right one. We had a windstorm and flood warnings. We have a flood warning too. So it was sunny and hot all weekend here. And now we're under a flood watch for the whole week. So it's insane. Dark voices, hello. Favorite Halloween costume decoration. I have to pick one. There's only one person watching now too, by the way. That's what this says. But there's lots of people in the chat, so that's weird. I don't have one. I like it all. I don't like it to be cute though. Deadly Slaying, hello. Batgirl. I like them all. I don't like cute. I mean, I don't mean anything against anyone that likes the cute Halloween decorations, but that's not really my thing. But I also don't like gore, if that makes sense. But right in front of my picture window we don't have a big house or anything, but we have like little planters, like a ledge for planters. So I took all the planters out on Friday and I put like a foot in one, a fake foot, and then a fake hand in another. Hello. Hello. Mark Selby, prep for it. Hello. Did I miss anybody? If I did, I'm sorry. I looked away for a second. Wings, cloaked, scream face creature is mine. Halloween is my birthday. Oh man, that's so cool. When I was a kid, one of my friends had a birthday on Devil's Night, and I was always so jealous. I know that sounds stupid, but I think, hello, Brian, because mine is a week before Christmas, and usually school was always out, so when it was my birthday, I hardly ever saw anyone because it was like Christmas break. So, right now, I tried Snapchatting my fingernails that I did yesterday. I did like a blood drip. Like my tips of my nails are a blood drip on my index of my right and my middle of my left. And then I put like random stitches on my nails. And they're pointed. They're like oval pointed nails. So, Jen. Oh, hey. Lipakimi or Lipakim. Hello, Australia. That's cool. What time is it in Australia right now? Are you 24 hours ahead or behind? Mark MCP. I know. That's awesome. I'm delaying so I can read everything in the chat, but I was randomly going on about birthdays, wasn't I? So everybody's going to say their birthday now. I should be writing these down and then send people random weird stuff in the mail for their birthday. I'm just joking. That's a lot of effort. Whoever can do that you're an amazing person because I forget. I'm a really bad send things in the mail type of person. I'm really bad at it. It's 2:40 a.m. and I'm working on an assignment, taking a break to watch you. Well, there's nothing really to watch. It's more of a listening to me rambling, but I do have a point to my Larry Mullen, the drummer of U2, was born on Halloween. Ooh. Hope you collab with Mortis Media again and love that guy. June 27th, May 6th. Oh, yay, that's good. Thank you. Oh, that was my bathroom door shutting because that's not me. Let me know if it breaks up. I'm going to keep an eye on the... Hello, Brian. I thought I said hi to you before, but maybe I didn't. Okay, so let me get to this here. So I found this creepy story about stories from funeral homes and crematoriums. And I thought it was going to be like this creepy thing happened to me there, but no, they're actual like cases from there. collaborated with Hitchhiker. I think I did before. A long time ago, though. Hey, DV. Let me see here. Okay, I'm going to get to the first one. This first one is about Bobby Wilkes. So if you've heard it, sorry in advance, but it says in 1988, Bobby Wilkes was 51 years old, and he had been the funeral director at the Barber Funeral Home in Cross Plains, Tennessee for about 20 years. At the gravesites, Wilkes would often advise the families of the deceased not to watch the lowering of the casket because it might be too difficult. Many families heeded his advice. After all, he was the expert when it came to funerals. In October of 1988, Wilkes gave the family his usual gravesite spiel, and the pallbearers walked away from the gravesite of their deceased loved ones, but kept Wilkes in their sight. That's when they saw Wilkes throw some potted flowers into the grave, and he didn't put on the lid of the vault, a $375 add-on that Wilkes had sold them. So they went to the police, and they arrested Wilkes. Once Wilkes' arrest made the news, other families filed complaints against him. The only way to check the claims would be to exhume the bodies that were buried by Wilkes, and 30 graves in all were dug up. Like the initial case that Wilkes was arrested for, some of the graves were buried without vaults, but sadly that was only the beginning and the least offensive thing he did. At least 10 coffins were stuffed with garbage like bottles, dirty diapers, used cans of dog food, and bags of hair. At least 2 coffins were buried on their side, and one had an arm sticking out of the coffin. That suggests that Wilkes didn't lower the caskets, they were just dumped in. However, those people were lucky enough to even get a casket. One man was buried without one. A gravedigger who helped exhume the bodies said that it was likely Wilkes was angry at the dead. In October of 1989, Wilkes pled guilty to 48 different charges and was sentenced to 28 years and 11 months in prison. And that is the least gross story of these. Yeah, Zach, let me see here. Yeah, serial killer Saturdays are a lot of work. Now, when you just read a story, like I just read that, and I was going to do a recording of that, of just read the article. There's 10 different ones there. Those are easy. Serial killer Saturday involves research, looking up that research, double checking your facts. So I personally just love it when someone comes there and said, no, this happened there. No, I don't put one up if I can't verify the claims. A lot of people made a lot of claims about Madame Lalaurie. She was a friggin' monster, and a lot of people say that the stuff about her was made up, and I just don't even know. I know that there's some facts that were obviously fabricated and poofed up, but she was indeed a freaking monster. So those serial killer Saturdays take a lot of work, and they're only going to be done once a month, if that. And yeah, so what's this say? Wow, what an asshole. What happened? Oh, you're just now hearing the story. Okay. I'm going to go back to search both your channels for that collaboration video. Yeah, I don't know where it's at, Dudley. Black Metal, how are you doing, my friend? Okay. Oh, wait till you hear the rest of them. That was just one. Hey, ASMR. I respect the work. Thank you for that. Creep me out. Well, the ones that are alive still. The scariest serial killers, Zach, are the ones that don't get caught. The ones who you never know who it was. That's the scariest to me. I was going to go back and, in my mind, like, I don't even know the timeline, so I can't even. But for 1 second, one day, after I did the Zodiac, I started watching, getting clips and facts about the Son of Sam. And maybe the timeline isn't correct. But does anyone ever know if it was confirmed or denied, if the Zodiac could have possibly been the Son of Sam? Does anybody know the timeline involved? You mean Ed Gein? Deadly? I did a story about him. And he killed tons and tons of people, so many that they can't even count how many he killed. Yeah. Mother creepypasta, the photos, it's putting it together, the photos, and I was resizing them and making them all like interesting, but that took a whole day just to do the video separate from the audio, so I stopped doing that because that meant I could never do them because it takes up way too much time. Yeah, they are. But the fact is, let me put it to you this way, Zach, if you think cannibals are scary, every time you eat at a restaurant and they're serving you meat and you didn't see where that meat came from, okay, you're taking that chance. Anyway. Yes, Ed Gein did inspire the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, and he was also the inspiration for The Silence of the Lambs. The timeline of Zodiac was 68 to 74. Okay, so what was the timeline of the Son of Sam? Cannibals are fantastic. Ew. You're a chef. Of course you are. 1977. Okay, so is it not? Here's why I think it's possible that the Zodiac was the son of Sam, because the Zodiac dropped off and then the son of Sam picked up around the same time. Plus, both cases had letters written to the police. Though they were different script, you can change that easily by changing which hand you write in. So I just wonder if it's ever been theorized or investigated if the son of Sam was the Zodiac, because I don't know. Never eating what Zach gives me. Yeah, ew. It was the hottest summer in history. And you want to know why the son of Sam got caught? Because of a traffic ticket. And that's why there's probably so many more psychopaths out there than you know about, because it took a parking ticket to catch the son of Sam. Now we have a lot more genetic evidence. It's easier to catch them faster. But if they went back in time and try to connect the son of Sam and the Zodiac, I just wonder if they would link. Ted Cruz is a Zodiac killer. There's a bunch of theories about Ted Cruz out there, Mark, actually. I haven't went down that rabbit hole yet, but one day when I got some spare time, and maybe tonight, I'll go through that. I'm also going to talk about the serial killer that I'm going to profile this Saturday that happened in my town. And I don't want to give too much away, but my husband and I were going to go do a little ghost hunt in the areas where he left his marks. Let me shut my door. No, never mind. Okay. What's a serial killer who harmed it? I don't know. There's lots of them that do. And lots of them that just don't have any targets at all. They're just like to kill. Jeffrey Dahmer did. Yeah, but he killed some kids and some women too, didn't he? Or did he? You know, deadly, the one that targeted homosexuals is Gacy, the clown guy, John Wayne Gacy. The Black Doodler was the serial killer who targeted gays. There's a lot of them, I think. There were a lot of them because of the homophobic, dark theories and fear. They just lose their mind, I guess. Oh, on with the next. Let's see. The Body Baron of Broward County. I wonder if anybody's heard this one. I'm gonna mess up this guy's name because when I was reading it out loud to myself, I did a couple times. So, 1977, Joseph Damiano opened a body transport business in South Florida. He won a number of lucrative contracts and monopolized the market. After a few years, the transport business led to a cremation services business. Then in the 90s, Damiano was hit with several lawsuits. The first one was in 94. A woman sued him because she believed her husband's ashes were mixed with someone else's. At the trial, former employees testified that Damiano's crematory ashes from different people were often mixed together. Notably, more ash was ordered to be added to cremated babies because their remains don't leave much in the way of ash. He was sued for that very reason in 1998. At the civil hearing, Damiano didn't show up to defend himself. In another case, Damiano was accused of losing a woman's ashes entirely. Other allegations were instead of scattering ashes, Damiano just dumped them behind the crematorium in the parking lot. In every civil case, Damiano lost, and he was ordered to pay $39 million to people he wronged. But he didn't have any money, and he didn't have any property in his name. He had put all of his business and property in other people's names. Wow. Here's the worst part. In 2001, there was an investigation of funeral services in Florida, and the fact that Damiano owed so much in lawsuits and an additional $15,000 in fines to the government, he quickly drew their attention. They looked into his business and found out that Damiano didn't have a license to run an incinerator. They also made another startling discovery. Damiano had been illegally renting out bodies to an embalming school without the survivors' knowledge. In at least 2 cases, Jewish people were embalmed, which is prohibited in Judaism. As many as 600 bodies were illegally rented out for $110 each. Ugh. In 2001, Damiano's operations were finally shut down. Why did it take that long? And he was arrested for fraud and operating without a license. However, in 2016, in May, Damiano popped back up in the news because he was running an online cremation service. How do you do that? Out of Colorado, called Heritage Cremation Provider, and I think I've heard of this one called Legacy Funeral Services. Customers say ashes came back mishandled, and in some cases it took months to get the ashes. There are even some people who accuse the company of holding the ashes of loved ones as for ransom. Has anyone heard of that before? Homicidal Lou. Ben drowned, Sunderman's code word suicide, deadly slain, true glitch in the Matrix. I just found an article on that today. Those are pretty rare, and if you're new here, you might know that I don't like to read something that someone else has already read. So I might just have to do that because they're pretty rare to find. And sometimes, I don't know about you, but when someone reads a glitch in the Matrix, or when I've found them, I'll just say when I've found them, they didn't seem like a glitch. They just seem like someone was not paying attention to something, and very rarely do they seem like they're unexplainable. I'm writing a crematorium story. Oh, yeah. When I was reading the story out loud, I can't see this screen. So no face. I'll have to read that. What's my favorite creepypasta? Man, I don't know. There's so many. I really like a lot of the ones that, what's that one that I really, really liked? It's like a dark romance one, and it's been playing on Scream Radio for a while. It's called Blood and Strawberry Wine. I really loved it. It was short. It was dark. It was like, I don't even know if it's I don't even like the term creepypasta. I just like short horror stories because I think a lot of them are really well written. I think they're really underrated. What's up, Dutch? Free the people? Hello. Stay off the deep web. Who even goes in the deep web? I think a lot of that stuff, a lot of those stories are just bullshit anyway. I'm sure that there are some people that have had some horrible things happen to them, but I think like probably 90% of that's just straight up bullshit. Because I think if something happens to you, Probably not going to hear from you again. Visits it's dark and deep as it's supposed to be. No one's going to know what happened to your ass. Yeah. It's hard to find a good glitch story that could be viewed as valid. Yeah. Lazy did one a while back that was good. Yeah, he can find some really unique stuff. Lazy Masquerade is one of my all-time, like, original favorites. When I first started watching him or listening to him, I don't think he even had 100,000 subscribers yet, so it might have been almost 2 years ago. It was him and Fear or Your Maker and Mr. Creepypasta. Those were the first 3 that I really had started listening to. Like one day I found Lazy Masquerade and I just like binge listened to all of his stuff. I used to get heroin on the deep web. Why? Aren't there like probably skeevy people selling that crap everywhere? Little Wicked, the deep was a real bad deal years ago, but the feds caught it now. Now there's something called the dark web. Has anyone seen, and every time I see this commercial, it makes me laugh hysterically because I don't think that you can do shit about it, but there's this thing called identity theft on the dark web, and they're like, we'll do a dark web scan to see if your information's on the dark web. I'm thinking, are you fucking serious? No one's going to find your information if it's on there. You're screwed. Your Maker is underrated. Yeah, he is. But, you know, I haven't seen him post anything in a while. Black market mostly, yeah. Cheaper and safer. That's because of Equifax. You know what? I think you're better off saving up your money and paying cash for stuff. That's a word to the wise about everything. If you have to pay for it with credit, you shouldn't be buying it. Yeah. I mean, there's an exception, and that's like a house, but don't go buy a house that's like you're barely surviving to pay for it. Love you too. Live Wicked. I can't wait to see those stories for Horror Amino. That commercial is bullshit. You can't search them. Yeah, exactly. When I see that, I laugh. I'm thinking, how many people are going to get scammed by that commercial for the dark web scan? It's so crazy. It's like, are you haunted? Contact us now and we'll scan you to see if you have a ghost living in your house. It's about the same level of bullshit. Oh my God. My favorite thing that got me into the whole horror narration side was Mr. Nightmare. You know what? I didn't even find Mr. Nightmare until like 6 months ago. I had never even heard of him before. Or maybe it was a year ago. Nope, it was about 6 months ago. He only posts like once in a while now, but like a legit company doing the searches. I don't think if your shit's on the dark web, man, you might as well change your name and move to a different country. You've been targeted. Luckily, I don't have anything really for anyone to take from me. So, have you heard of the horror YouTubers? Yeah, I just did a collaboration with him, Antonio. It was an SCP one. How the fuck have you been narrating just now found him? 6 months ago, Deadly. You know what's funny is I keep finding new ones. Like they pop up and then they go away. So the first one I listened to was Creepypasta. He was doing No Face. Thanks to MCP. That was my intro to Creepypasta. Well, I looked into them to see how they claim to do it. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Creepypasta Jr. Yeah, I forget about him all the time. I'm subscribed to him, but there's certain ones when I see him, I'm like, I'll go back and watch that. I'll go back and watch it. And then I don't because I have like people that I favor, like like Mother Creepypasta and a few tight ones that I want to make sure I listen to them first. But I'm so far behind. I could literally sit for a month and listen to all the ones that I've like watch later, watch later, watch later, watch later. You know, I started a Discord and my computer just didn't like it. So I uninstalled Discord. And now every time I turn on my computer, it loads up Discord. It loads up Discord. I close out the window because it makes my computer act up. And when I try to search for Discord on my computer, I can't find it to get rid of it. It's ridiculous. Happy Hollows. Duchess. Yes, I can't wait. Feed the Pig. Ooh. That's the issue of having a large community, or rather being part of one. Feeding the Pig was good. I've never heard it, and I don't know. Is it something that will harm an animal? Because I don't want to hear it. You have to be invited to join the dark web. Listen, if you're invited to join the dark web, I'm going to say that you should probably tell everyone goodbye right now. Mr. Nightmare's story was recently animated into an awesome story called The Peering Head on the new horror YouTuber channel Corrupted Playground. The heck? Will you come shut my door? Will you take Trixie out of here? Come here. Come on, baby. There, go with her. She's like, ah. Go with Emily. Come on. Thank you. No, Lippany, I never used a Ouija board. When I was a little kid, I did, but I didn't know what I was doing. I would chalk that up to that. I just watched another YouTuber that did like the Candyman challenge, and then she did a Ouija board challenge, and nothing happened. What'd you say? I'm in school right now, heading to weight training, but I'll stay on the stream though. Psh. I don't know how you listen to that, but Pete the Pig. I'm gonna have to go listen to that now. David Romero of Calling Tales for Dark Nights drew the animation for Mr. Nightmare's story. Yes, Kalina Orr. Sorry, yeah. Hey, Spooky Boo. What's going on? Okay, so we did the first two. Let's go on to this one. Well, maybe not. This one was kind of gross. We'll skip past this one. Oh, okay. This one is called, this is about Mark Velella, or Velella, however you want to pronounce that. Let me make sure everything is going okay. Bluetooth headphones, okay. I'm still subscribed to him on another one of my channels, but I unsubscribed to him. Okay, back to these. On August 1999, funeral director Mark Velella found something that no husband ever wants to find. A letter written by his wife addressed to her lover. Over the next several days, Mark and his wife of 2 years, 28-year-old Exalee, talked things over, and at times things got heated. On the night of August 5th, Exalee called her sister and said that she and Mark were having a fight. Her sister became concerned when Exalee didn't call back. Exalee's, and that's her name, that's how I'm pronouncing it, Exelee. Exalee's co-workers also realized something was wrong when she didn't show up for work and Mark didn't call looking for her, as he was prone to do nearly every day in a jealous fit. 3 days later, after Exalee called her sister, the police interviewed Mark, and he admitted that they had had a fight. He told police that she had left him, and he had no idea where she was. However, Exalee's family had a problem with that, because it didn't seem likely that she would leave her 18-month-old son behind, and her car was still in the driveway. The police looked into Exalee's disappearance and came to a rather ghastly conclusion. On the same day that police interviewed him, Mark hosted a closed casket funeral for 89-year-old Marjorie Hutchinson. The police had reason to believe that Mark put Exalee's body in the same casket as Hutchinson and buried them together. 3 weeks after Exalee went missing, they confronted Mark and they told him they were going to exhume Hutchinson's casket. So he confessed to stabbing Exalee in the throes of passion. However, the police contend that he stabbed her as she slept. Mark didn't want to go through the costly divorce, and he didn't want to share custody of their son. He pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 30 years in prison. So instead of sharing custody, now your kid has no parent because you destroyed all. Yeah. All right. This one's crazy. It's about Anthony Parisi. In July of 1986, Anthony Parisi passed away at the age of 83. Parisi, who was a co-founder of a grocery store in Mount Vernon, New York, died of natural causes, and his body was being held at the Yenentuono, probably pronounced that wrong, funeral home, also in Mount Vernon. On the morning of July 26th, the employees of the funeral home went to prepare him for his burial, but when they looked in the casket, they discovered that his head was missing. The police were called, and they speculated that sometime in the middle of the night, someone broke into the funeral home and used a razor or scalpel to remove his head. Once the head was cut off, the intruder took it with him or her. Nothing else in the funeral home was stolen or perturbed. There weren't even signs of a break-in. The police are baffled by the case. They have no idea who stole the head, why they stole it, and they don't even know what happened to it because it was never friggin' found. Gross. Ugh. Ugh. My dog got lost for 3 days. I'll look into that one. Let's see. I'm supposed to be doing a new story for Shadow Swimmer 77. He's the one that wrote Father's Love that I did last week or the week before. Everything's blending together because I've been uploading so frequently. I haven't watched Horror Studio in a while because he goes back and forth between I'm going to shut down my channel and then he's not going to. So, and you know, I have announced before that I wasn't going to upload here after October. But what's going to happen is I'm going to upload to YouTube once a week after October's over and once a week or possibly twice a week on my Patreon because I'm literally trying to raise money to not just create a website for myself. I'm trying to create a platform for horror. I have no idea how much it's going to cost. I have to research, contact, and actually go over what I want to happen with a developer and a designer because what I want to happen for horror, and I don't want it just, I know that a lot of bigger YouTubers have a website for themselves, and that's great. But then they go on Twitter, and I'm not bashing them, but they talk about this and this and this, and then they keep uploading to YouTube, and I don't understand the logic in that. When you've got millions of subscribers, you have the power and access to people who can create something for you should you request it. I mean, when you have that many people listening to you and you request something, I think you have the power to make something happen. I do not. So I'm hoping that I can get in contact with some bigger ones and they want to be part of it too, because it's not just going to be for me. It's going to be for horror, and it's going to be all horror all the time, including showcasing writers, people that not just create videos, but are great storytellers all around. There's some people that don't even tell stories, but are great at horror because they create music or they create imagery or they know how to do special effects. And I think that the whole website dedicated to horror would be amazing. And I think that YouTube is really missing out on a niche that would make them more money. And I hope that there's not a website that's already like that. So if anybody knows of something like that, please tell me so I don't freaking go through all the efforts of creating something that's just like something else. Have you seen creep.ee? What's that? Creep.ee? Is that a website? Creep.ee. Is that a story? Waiting for responses. Did something happen to the internet? It's still there. It's a website similar to what you want. Oh, no, it is? I'm going to look at it right now. Let's check it out. Someone in the middle of the day is driving down my street, blaring their bass. Like, dude, I know that when you're younger, you think that's cool, but you know what? It's just annoying. I'm sorry. Because you're assuming that I want to listen to your music. Maybe ask me what I want to listen to and then blare it. You ever think of that? No. No, you didn't. Okay, so creep.ee. It's loading slowly. Creepy. No, these are just stories. Does it highlight writers? about stories that you can read. There's some videos here, I see. But I don't see a showcase. What I don't see there, Mark, which I want to see. They don't showcase writers, which are a big contributor to horror in the first place, because without writers, there would be no story, there would be no content. And I don't think writers get enough recognition. Same with the people that create the little videos that I use, because personally, I like to watch the imagery while I'm listening. I know that some people just listen. So that's one thing that if you're a Patreon patron, I'm giving you downloads of stuff. And plus, now you're going to have Patreon only content after October that you can just download and listen without ads. That's another bonus to the Patreon. And it's not, the Patreon is to create the website. So the money will stay there and accumulate, because I was looking into that because I didn't want it to cash out and send it to my bank account. And then have no way of keeping track of it. I believe it will just stay there and accumulate until I'm ready to use it for the website. So if it never happens, then I can just return it to the people I think that donated anything. But I'm going to contact them and make sure that's for real. I can't write. I can barely speak. I think everyone has their days like that, though. Doesn't highlight writers. They don't have that element. No. Yeah. But you know what? I also love people that create. There's a content creator called Alex Faction, spelled just like it says. And he has hundreds of Halloween makeup ideas, and he is a friggin' genius. I highly recommend that if you're looking for like last minute Halloween makeup how-tos. It's amazing. So I want to see everything horror related. The creation process, writers, video, anyone that has anything to do with horror, making the music. That would be amazing. Want to buy merch from a narrator one day. You know, black metal, if you go on maybe I can figure out how to post that here. And I don't know why it's not in my storefront. But Pink Spookies merch that I made is at cost. So I don't make any profit off of that. So I made it the cheapest that you can make it with zero profit, which is still not free, but it's the cheapest merch I've seen. It's the Pink Spooky 2017 art contest winner merch with her design on the front. I get by with gestures and crude hand signals. Don't we all, Zach? Don't we all? Anyways, let's move on with this. Oh, no, I won't read that one. I think it's too inappropriate. I won't. Ooh, this one's really gross. Biomedical tissue services. So, you know how sometimes people will get like a transplant from a cadaver? This is what this one's about, but it really highlights why you should be nervous about it. Michael Mastromarino was a dental surgeon, but he lost his license in 2002 because he was caught using intravenous drugs while he worked on patients. Awesome. That's what I want. His next business venture was his own company called Biomedical Tissue Services, which was based in Fort Lee, New Jersey. And it was a company that took bones and tissue from corpses to be used for implants. While it may sound grotesque, taking bones and tissue from dead bodies isn't uncommon. Many people know that doctors take organs from people who are still alive and then transplant the organs into someone else. Some bones and tissues don't have the same problem with immediacy, so they can be harvested a few hours after death at funeral homes. However, in order for a company to harvest a body or the tissue and bone, 4 basic conditions must be met. First, they have to have permission from the deceased or the family. Second, the person couldn't have had any communicable diseases. Third, the person couldn't be too old. And finally, the person can't be dead longer than 15 hours. Just 4 common sense rules, and Mastromarino's company ignored all of them. Ugh. Mastromarino used a network of undertakers, and he would pay them a standard fee of about $1,000 per body. He would then send a team of 3 people, and they would harvest the body. None of the families were aware that any of this was happening. One notable body that was carved up was that of the former host of PBS's Masterpiece Theater, Alistair Cook. When Cook died, he was 94 and had cancer. Yet arm and leg bones were taken from his body. On each body, Mastromarino apparently made between $10,000 and $15,000, and he illegally harvested bone and tissue from at least 1,076 bodies. If you do the math, it's clear that the grotesque scam made Mastromarino a multimillionaire. The problem was that people were getting sick because of the transplants. Just a few horrifying examples include 23-year-old man who had surgery to repair a torn ACL. He was given a cadaver cartilage that was harvested 19 hours after death. 19 hours after death. During that extra time in the dead body, a deadly fungus formed on the cartilage, and when it was transplanted, it infected the man's knee. A 74-year-old woman got a bone implant in her lower back, and she contracted syphilis from it. A 41-year-old man tested positive for HIV and hepatitis C after getting a bone implant for degenerative disc disease. Awesome. And again, those are only a few of the cases. The true toll of the scam will probably never be known because Mastromarino flooded the market with possibly tainted bone and tissue, and it had been implanted in over 10,000 people. Oh my God. Things started to fall apart for Mastromarino. Okay. In 2004, when the New York Police Department called into a funeral home that was formerly owned by one of Mastromarino's funeral directors. After a lengthy investigation, they arrested Mastromarino, 3 of his employees, and 3 funeral directors in connection with the body harvesting ring. Mastromarino was sentenced this doesn't make any sense. He was sentenced to 18 to 54 years in prison, and his wife agreed to pay $4.6 million to the families touched. $4.6 million divided up by a minimum of 10,000 people. I don't even know how that can fix anything. Touched by Mastromarino's bone and tissue network. Mastromarino died from metastatic liver cancer in July 2013 at the age of 49. Jesus. I'm in the wrong business. I have to go back now and see comments. Oh, not many. People actually listening to me? All right, let me see. Let me see. I think the worst one was this one. The last one I'm going to read you was the grossest one. Okay. So I forgot to keep checking these other things here. Okay, sorry. So this last one is the grossest one, I think. There's my husband, Football Master 49. Hello, darling. Glad you are staying dry while I'm at work and skank houses and getting soaked in the rain. I'm glad too, but I'm sorry that you're in the rain. I'm sorry. Why are you getting soaked in the rain? That's my husband, Football Master 49 there. Karma's a bitch. Listening with my eyes closed. You have liver disease? Zach, I'm sorry. Is there a transplant list that you're on? Is that possible? I'm like frozen, wanting a response now. Hoping that there's some hope to be said about this situation. I read a story, was it last week? I have Hep C Fatty Liver. Are you on medication? Are you being helped? You're okay. Okay. One one of my friends from high school, her fiance, I don't want to say husband because I don't think they weren't married when this happened, but he had been sick for a really long time, and they figured out he had contracted Hep C, and then he was on this really heavy medication for a year, and it fixed it. So he got really lucky, and he didn't have to have a transplant or anything. So that I'm grateful for, because I've seen medical breakthroughs for a lot of people for stuff like that. So I'm really happy for you. Just drank into a lot of drugs, waiting on insurance. I'm going to type something for you that I can't say out loud right now. But anyway, okay, I'm not going to say it, but tar buildup. Deadly, are you even 18? You're not supposed to be smoking anyway. Let me read this last story before I go off on some sort of, let me tell you how to live your life rant. Because I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. That's up to you. It's hard to live your life, though, when you're doing things that sabotage it. But again, I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. To each their, I am very strongly to each their own. So sometimes I got to stop myself. As long as you're not hurting anybody else with your habits. This last one is really disturbing. It's called the TriState Crematory Scandal, if anybody's familiar with it. It says, in 1996, due to his father getting ill, Tommy Ray Brent Marsh left college to run his family's business, which was a crematorium that his father had built in the backyard of the family home in Noble, Georgia. First of all, just that whole setup right there just seems wrong. Okay. So while Marsh was running the TriState Crematory, thousands of bodies were sent to him to be cremated. In October of 2000, the sheriff's department got their first report that something unusual may be happening at the crematorium. A gas man notified them to say that he saw bodies lying around the Marsh property, but the sheriff's department never followed up on the tip. 13 months later, the Environmental Protection Agency was given an anonymous tip that there were bodies in the woods surrounding the Marsh's property. They supposedly did an investigation, but nothing was found. On February 14, 2002, the police received a call from an anonymous source saying that while walking their dog in the woods, they found a human arm bone. The next day, the police finally went to the crematory, and on their first day, they found 49 bodies that should have been cremated, but weren't. They widened their search and found 334 bodies scattered on and around the Marsh property. Some of them were up to 5 years old. If the sheer number of bodies wasn't disturbing enough, how the bodies were stored was appalling. The bodies were still in their caskets. Some cases, the caskets were stacked on top of each other. Stacked, not stacked. Blah. However, many other bodies weren't in caskets at all and were just strewn about. Dressed in hospital gowns complete with wristbands. Bodies were found throughout the woods, hidden in nearly every building on the property, and some were dumped into holes in the ground. Of course, since some bodies had been there for 5 years, there were almost all levels of decomposition. For example, in the garage, police found coffins with bodies in them stacked on top of each other, and even more bodies just lying around with their fluids leaking out onto the ground. Needless to say, while Marsh had considerable fewer corpses than Rob Zombie, Marsh's home was definitely a lot more terrifying. As for why he did it, Marsh's lawyer said that he had mercury poisoning from the cremation process, and it was like he was living in a fog. The police think he just got too far behind in his work, and or that he never really wanted to be part of the family business. He was hit with 787 felony charges. This included 179 counts of abusing a corpse, 439 counts of theft. Marsh pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 12 years in prison in 2004. It also cost the county and the state $10 million for cleanup and the recovery of the bodies. In total, 133 bodies couldn't be identified. Oh my God. Like, I've heard that one. Oh, have you? I haven't. Oh God, man. Like, I'm not a crematory person. But I don't know how long does it take to complete the process, but I'm thinking that once someone arrives, you do the thing and then it's done. Maybe what? Aren't those like super high level ovens? So it would take what, an hour max? How do you get behind with that? Like, I don't, just like your work, well, let's just start with your work ethic has to be like spot on. That's good, Zach. I'm glad to hear it, Zach. And I hope you feel better fast. I really do. I think it's really important that you said that you said why you're sick, and it's important for other people to know. I think that addiction and mental illness are two things that are not talked about often enough and are always hidden. And if they were talked about more often, I think less people would have the problem as long as they do. I think it would be addressed earlier. I think people could be helped more effectively, faster, and they would be with us longer. Yeah. Can you imagine living next door? You know what? You could live next door to that and you wouldn't know. But the picture of this, let me see if I can share this for you. The picture of it is like a rural area. So it's not like, there's no bodies in the picture, mind you, but you can see caskets. Let me see if I can, my computer keeps like scrolling up too fast and scrolling down too fast. Let me see if I can just show you this. Hold on a second. Let me share the screen with you. Application window. Right there. Let me go to here and you can let me know if you see it. Just a second. If you can see the picture, you can see just a massive, I'm thinking that this destruction that you see like in the middle of the one building is them either beginning the process of tearing it down, because I can see an excavator or a bulldozer or something on the property. And then you can see like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right next to the bulldozer in the bottom left of the screen of the picture. You can see a bunch of coffins stacked on top of each other. Like, ew. I don't know. Like, it didn't say that his father had passed away either. So, oh, you couldn't see the picture? Did anybody else see it? Cremate in the backyard. Yeah, like, I don't understand how that was even something that gained a license. Like, I don't know. It didn't show like the proximity of the crematorium area to the house. And it didn't even look like a professional setup. It looked like they had like a big oven and a friggin' pole barn. Like, I don't know why anyone would be like, yeah, let's send their bodies there. Like, it's to me the equivalent of having a big fire pit in your yard and like, that's my crematorium. Gross. It just seems wrong on so many levels. Like, ew. Yeah, I see it, Deadly. That's funny. What was I going to say? I've been looking for stories for Halloween forever, and I'm really looking forward to the to Halloween. I just love it. We don't get we live in a neighborhood where when we moved here, we thought for sure we get trick-or-treaters because the speed limit's like 25 and around the corner is a school. However, on our road, the police don't patrol it, so people go like between 40 and 80 down our road, including even the school bus goes like 50 miles an hour. So no one trick-or-treats here because they'd freaking die because the people drive too fast. So I was super bummed. Like, we got tons and tons of candy and stuff the first Halloween we were here, and then we didn't get any trick-or-treaters. I was so bummed. I was excited about having trick-or-treaters. Oh my goodness. There's a guy that I read one of his stories, and he's a author for Thought Catalog. I think it's Thought Catalog, Joel Forelli, and he's going to do a live stream from a haunted house. If you don't, it's I'll spell it out on the chat if you want to see. I'm lucky I live in a development. Yeah, so you don't have a big open rural area. Where I live, I'm just like, my yard is like a fenced, it's almost an acre, our backyard, which doesn't sound that big, but when you're maintaining it, it seems big fast. But I used to live in the country where I had a cornfield on each side and then a cornfield across the street. And I swear to God, our neighbor down the street was the creepiest dude ever. Like, he probably could have had one of those and no one would have known it. So scary. What was I going to do? I was going to share something else with you guys, and now I totally forgot. But yeah, if you're in a development, you probably don't have any open areas like that, do you, Zach? Where it's just like all like apartments. Is it apartments or is it called flats? Hello? There's such a delay when I'm talking to people that I don't know. I saved a bunch of stories on here too. I'm going to see if I can. There's some stuff that I never have read for anyone that I have saved on here just in case. I wanted to read like I don't know if that's one or not, but I wanted to read oh, it's house. Okay, so like a neighborhood, but no big huge open fields where someone could have, I don't know, a crematorium next door. Thank God. What was I going to say? I lost my train of thought again. I am constantly looking for stories to read, just because I don't want to read something that everyone else has read 100 times. And I don't know if anyone knows, but that takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of research and time. I found a ton, but oh, I know what I was going to say now. I wanted to read a classic and break it up into like parts, like Frankenstein or Dracula. The problem is that because they're written so long ago, the first few chapters, like, they don't scare or interest anyone nowadays, but back when they were written, obviously, because they became, infamous, they were engaging in the first few chapters. But now I think that it's really hard if you read the first few chapters of Dracula, Frankenstein, or probably a lot of classics, unless you want to read it. If I read it on my chapter, I think everyone would fall asleep and would never tune in for any more parts. So I was going to go through and try to find like where Frankenstein or where Dracula got interesting, or the Wolfman. But the good thing is that Shadow Swimmer 77 wrote, I'm so excited. Criveroni is breaking it into parts and assigning the audio. So it's going to be on her channel. And it's about people. Well, I guess I can't say it because it doesn't come out tomorrow, so I can't say what it's about, but I'm excited to do it. I like stuff that's different. Dark Voices does a lot of stuff that's really different, like comic stuff. I did one for him for Halloween, and he did one for mine. Just a short, dark, like, you know how you see like Family Circus has one picture and there's a thing there? Well, this is like a dark version, not a Family Circus, but like a dark, almost like a comic, but it's not comical. It's scary. So I thought you weren't going to do narration anymore, Deadly. Last time I talked to you, you said you were going to do gaming channel. I think what's going to happen, and it's already been happening, so I'm not really sure why. Anyway, I will keep uploading to YouTube as long as there's an audience and a need for it. Until, even when there's a website up, I think I'll still have to come to YouTube to upload something to bring traffic to the website. And that's why I don't want to stop completely on YouTube. Otherwise, I would. Because they're completely disrespectful of their horror creators. They've done nothing but smack everyone in the face. And I'd love to tell them to kiss my ass and just go away. But unfortunately, it's too hard because there's so much traffic to YouTube that if you have something else, it will help you promote that. So it's almost like free advertising. Like, it's unrelated, but I watch other channels for other people, and I'm sure it helps their business grow. Like, there's one guy I watch. He's called the Homestead Craftsman, And he's a person who like will save up money and then buy a really cheap house for cash and then completely renovate it and sell it or rent it out so he has residual income. And he bought his first house 6 months after he graduated from high school, because when he was in high school, he learned how to make tables. So he started making tables from wood shop and selling them and saving his money. So he saved up all his money and sold his first car so he could have $5,000 cash to buy his first house for $5,000 cash, completely renovated it and rents it out so he has residual income, and has continued to do so. So now he has an entire channel dedicated to his renovations. He has a channel dedicated to teaching you how to build stuff so you can make money for yourself. And so and then he has a book, and he has a tiny home thing that he's now making. And it's just like, and that all brings people to his businesses. So it helps him make money. So YouTube can be a great source for advertising for something, but making YouTube your only thing, anything, if you have just one thing, we're in a time where we don't know what the future holds for anyone, especially in any job that you have anywhere. So the smartest advice I've ever heard, and I hear it repeated all the time, is never have one source of income. Always have multiple sources, even if they're all small, so that when something or if something goes wrong, you're not left with nothing. You're left with, you've got backups, you've got plans. It doesn't matter if they're successful. You just keep trying to do stuff. But I got way off track, so. Alternate channel for gaming. Don't have Wi-Fi at home, so my uploads are infrequent. You can tether your computer to your phone. I don't know if everybody knows that you can do that. So you can, it's not a good idea because it eats up your data, but if you want to upload stuff, you can tether your computer to your phone's Wi-Fi so you can upload. So you could do that. Or if you have email on your phone, you could send your video to your phone and then upload from your phone to YouTube. Star Force, as of this morning, another creepypasta. I keep checking it just because I'm curious to see. This is my first audiobook, so I just wanted to see how it went. It's slowed down a little bit. It's 79. It's sold 79 copies so far. And I also have, in waiting to be released to retail, I finished, right after that, I worked on Thoughts from the Heart, which is basically, it's not a poetry book, but it's like, you know how like you're dating someone, or even when you're married, you leave little notes and stuff. So that's basically what Thoughts from the Heart is, like a bunch of those. So I did that for this lady, and that's waiting. It's headed to retail is what it says, but sometimes it takes a week after you finish it, or maybe longer. And then right after that, last week or the week before, I recorded, it's called A Dragon's Fire, The Dragon Whisperer of Madagor, which I was telling you, MCP, that I thought it would be something that you and Mark would like because it reminded me of the troll story that he started writing. It's good, but I think that the sales will definitely slow down. I don't know how much he's advertising it. Plus he has all those other copies, but so I'll be curious, the dragon one, the Dragon's Fire one. And then I was going to start today, but my throat's really sore. I'm getting ready to start. I don't know, am I allowed to talk about what I'm going to do, what I'm going to be reading? I'm not sure if I'm supposed to or not. Well, Star Force is like $21. It's a big, huge series. But it's like 4 books in one. And let's see. The one that I was scheduled to start today, my own schedule, it's not even due until November 21st, but I wanted to get it done because it's 21 chapters, because I have another one that's due on December 8th after that. Because what I did was, one day I thought, I'm just going to make sure I keep auditioning for audiobooks, just to build up my confidence. Well, I did that to 3 titles one day, and then I got all 3 of them, and then I was like, oh shit, what do I do now? If it's already an ebook, it should be fine too. Okay, so actually, I don't know. Let me look and see if this is already an ebook. Let me see about this title. This title's sales rank is 4 million. It's got 5 out of 10. Okay, so this one is called Bloodbath: An Extreme Horror Story by Tim Miller. October 21st, a little horror realm. Bloodbath: An Extreme Horror Story. That's my next one I'm starting this week. And then after that, Blood Relations. I'm excited for both of them because Bloodbath, I can just talk in this because she has the main character is a female who's snarky. So I get to record it this time I'm talking right now with sarcasm added, and I'm really excited about that. And then Blood Relations after that. In North Carolina. So I have I know that I before I don't think everyone heard, but I really lived and that was really, it's still, now that I'm going to say it, it's going to be, I'm going to be very conscious of it, but it's hard for me to say my R's. And now that I said that, it's going to be hard for me to my whole face to them. But sometimes when I get talking really fast, for some reason, a little Southern accent develops, and there's no legitimacy for that. It just, so that one's going to be really fun for me to read because it will be, I'll get to just relax myself and just talk. Adding on chat disconnected. Please wait. Let's test it out. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Please wait, Raleigh. Okay. Anybody hear me now? Can you hear me now? If it's breaking up, that means probably I'm at my cap for what my computer will let me do. Can anybody hear me? Me now. Okay. I forgot I was just audio set up. I want to get up and try to audition for any more books. And they'll all share too, MCP, if you're still listening, if anyone's still listening. It's a whole thing. The Mother Creepypasta is the one that totally sent me. Honestly, I wouldn't have done it without her, and there's no one can figure out how to do the audio for it because really, it's a whole new level when it comes to books. You don't have any music. It's like right now, for the past 2 weeks, a bunch of crows that pick just one time a day, and I can't do anything. I can do that for the music, can cover that up. If my window is shut here, I'm right now because it's still warm, but it's rainy, so I'm hoping it cools off. You can't have traffic. You can't have someone else in the bathroom, shutting the door, flushing the toilet, making the microphone will pick it up. It doesn't matter. I swear, if I'm doing something for the channel, it won't pick it up. But if I'm doing something for you can guarantee every annoying noise that shouldn't exist at the moment. So there's a very small window of time between 9 a.m. and noon, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, because Thursday is garbage day here, and every other week is recycle bin day. The garbage comes sometimes between 7 and 9:30, but then the recycle day comes whatever, and sometimes it's not till noon. So Thursday, I just don't count on doing anything for audiobooks. My dogs will random bark something. So Can anyone hear me? I don't know if it's like my internet's going in and out now, so it's probably going to be time to wrap it up then, because it won't be very much fun to listen and chat otherwise. I like this though, because this could be a good option for chatting with people instead of just like I don't know. Can you hear me now? Can anyone hear me now? Hello? Anything? Anything at all? Oh no. It's probably trying to wrap it up then. I don't see anyone responding anymore, so I'm going to say that it might not be going anymore. And I'm going to say goodbye if anyone can still hear me. So I'm going to wrap it up in case anyone can hear me. And if you can, I'm sorry. So until next time, I'm going to try and do a couple more of these this week. They might be earlier in the day. I don't know. If I can do one late at night, I will. You can hear me? I hear you. Yes, but the tour guide one sec, then not the next. What? It's going? Oh. You can hear me then? Yeah, there's a delay. I don't know. Been going for a while now. I'm gonna say maybe I should wrap this up because I don't want to take the chance of you guys getting cut off and then we can't like end it on a good note. I'm really glad whoever came. I'm really glad whoever came, and I was able to read you those stories because I found those and they were so gross. And actually, I found something else for Wednesday. And usually, I find short, scary stories, and some of them are scary and some of them are not. But all the ones I found for this Wednesday, I was like, "What the hell?" So I'm doing all those on Wednesday, and if you're a part of the Halloween collab, yeah, Friday's the due date for audio. Just saying. But okay, so there's always an extreme lag between chat and sound. Yeah, I know. It's too bad too because when I'm like, oh, I'm gonna wrap it up, and then it's like, bye. then people just leave because I don't wanna keep streaming if you can't hear me. Big hands, small fake buttons. Huh? Big hands, small fake buttons. Sorry. Small phone buttons? Fake buttons. Buttons. I hate buttons anyway. Buttons on pants, shirts. You know, they could just have a fake facade and have a zipper on the side. I hate buttons. They're a pain in the ass. Even on phone, like the typing keyboard on the phones, the flat one, like, no. I miss the phone, like right before we had the touch screen phone, where I had like an actual keyboard. That to me was like, I was the fastest chatter I could ever, like, man. Now it's just like typo. I'm going to assume. There was no assuming what you were going to type when you were pushing on an actual keyboard. And I wish that they still had those instead. Like, I had this one phone. It was right before, it was right after iPhones were out, I think. But I had one phone that was like, it was a slide out keyboard, but it also had a touch screen. It was like the best of both worlds. I loved that phone. Ugh. But it was with AT&T, and it was when it was early when you had data, and they charged you so much for data. It was disgusting. Like, if you had an app that you didn't turn off, the data would just keep accumulating and rack up, and there was like no limit. It just, you could have unlimited data and then like a friggin' unlimited phone bill. And I'm not even joking you. And I get the phone bill. I was like, what the hell is this? But phone, tuck, kiss my ass. Yep. The touch screen. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the touch screen keyboard. And what's even worse is I got creative with my fingernails yesterday. And I don't normally wear fake nails, but I really wanted to do some nail art. And my nails just never grow long enough for that. So I'm going to try and share. But I did like stitches on I did stitches, like random stitches on 8 of my nails. And then I did blood drops on 2 of them. So it looks like I stabbed somebody with my fingernail. I thought it would be fun. But I immediately like want to take these off because I can't stand not being able to touch something with my fingertip. It's annoying. But it makes me feel equivalent to like how someone feels when you put a wig on. Like I immediately want to take that off. I don't know. I don't like the feeling of, I don't know how someone can wear no judgment to you if you have like fake body parts on yourself. I just don't think I could handle that. Like I can feel, I don't know. It would feel so wrong. It would feel wrong to me. Like these fingernails feel wrong. Maybe it's different when it's like inside of you. I don't know. I'm getting way off topic now. Trying to see if this is still connected or not. This says I'm still broadcasting, but that doesn't mean anything. Anyone still here? Listening to me ramble. On and on to myself. Do, 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 do. Wendigo, a true terrifying story. All right, so I think I'm going to call it good right now in case anyone can hear me. And if you can't, that means I lost you and I don't know because there's such a delay. But I'm going to say have a good, I'm really glad you guys came and listened while I was reading those crematory stories that were so gross and wrong. I was actually thinking there's a funeral home that's north of me and they got in trouble for a bunch of weird stuff too. So I'm going to look for that story. Maybe I can read it for you guys the next time. I'm going to try. You can hear me loud and clear now? Of course you can. I'm going to try and do this a couple times more this week. And I'd really like to be able to do this on Halloween because it's Tuesday, which I think would be kind of quiet around here. Depending on how much audiobook stuff I can get done in my throat because I really want to get one done because the other one's even bigger than that one, and I want to be able to concentrate on that through November and get it out there. I think it's gonna be really good. Anyway, I want to say thank you for coming, and I really can't wait to see what everybody puts out for Halloween. I'm gonna soak it up like a sponge. So I'm gonna say have a good day and see you next time.